So we do it every Tuesday. We watch Monday Night Football, and we call this our herd hierarchy. I believe, by the way, some teams lose, I move them up. Some teams win, I move them down. I'm not win-loss generated here. What do my eyes tell me? We do the homework. We look at key stats, and here's the herd hierarchy. I am down right now in the LA Rams. I think their coaching is too good. Their defensive coordinator, Aaron Donald, they have too many good components not to be a top 10 team. But Todd Gurley rushed 5 times for just 16 yards, and they've got a problem. They have no juice in their backfield. It's not that they lost to Tampa Bay. That's not the issue. They still scored 40 points. But I think teams have figured out some of the components to the offense, put more guys up front defensively. I do think they overpaid for Gurley a year early and Brandon Cooks. They had to lose a couple of good offensive linemen. It's a very good system with lots of nice parts. I like their GM. I like their head coach. I think Jared Goff is really talented. But they got no juice in that backfield, and Goff's still a young quarterback. And you look around this league, the young quarterbacks that win have rushing help. Rams at 10. 49ers will be on Monday Night Football. They're 3-0 and will host Cleveland. The real upgrade here is their defense is now taking the ball away. They're number 3 in total defense, and that was a huge liability when Kyle Shanahan took it over. And I also know that Shanahan's going to upgrade the offense. Do you know they run the ball 57% of the plays, highest in the NFL, and they don't have what you'd consider a star running back. They don't have a road-grading offensive line. So I get all the cleverness of Kyle Shanahan. I get some spectacular young perimeter talents. They run the ball. They take it away. Monday Night Football will tell me a lot, though, because the Browns' defensive front is all real, and San Francisco's going to have their hands full, but I'll put the Niners at 9. Seahawks, they beat the Cardinals. Now, they were just clobbered at home by the Saints a couple of weeks ago, but it should be noted they outgained them 2-1. They're 2-0 on the road for the first time since they won a Super Bowl. And is Russell Wilson right now, after Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL? 7th consecutive road start with 110-plus passer rating. That is unheard of, folks. That is unheard of. And Doug Baldwin left, and they don't have a great offensive line. And so I think you have a combination of the best defensive coach after Belichick in the league, Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson playing in a completely elevated league. By the way, Russell's one of 3 quarterbacks without a pick this season. And you consider how he moves around and the cliff he plays on, really impressive. Seattle hosting the Rams, I have him at 8. I don't move the Buffalo Bills down at all. I think they're real. I think they're second in total defense. Tom Brady had one of his worst games as a pro. The Patriots couldn't throw on him. The Patriots couldn't run on him. Thank God New England got a special teams touchdown. He held the Patriots to 224 yards. And Tom was 18 of 39. Now, Tom's a precision thrower. Now, I do think there's some limitations offensively with Josh Allen. He can be wild. He can be a little inconsistent. He can be a little erratic. But they did run the football against New England. So the upgraded offensive line, I have the Bills at 7. Green Bay Packers. Okay, it was a startling loss to Philadelphia. They could not stop the Eagles. And they didn't get a sack, and they led the NFL in sacks before the game. But what I see with them is Aaron Rodgers on script in the first half looks comfortable. I think they have an elite receiver in Devontae Adams, an elite running back in Aaron Jones, and I like Aaron, and I like their offensive line. Philadelphia was more desperate, and Philadelphia's really, really good. Don't take too much from the loss. I do think the concern for me with Green Bay is second half offense. The production has been down. They're very good on script with a rookie head coach. They've not been great off script, and that may be a problem for the entire year. But I still put them at 6. Dallas Cowboys, and this is where it gets really tight for me. Listen, when Zeke can't run, the offense can be limited. If you're waiting for Dak to be jaw-dropping, he's not. But he keeps you in games, doesn't make dumb throws. He's a great leader. Number 2 ranked third down offense and defense. So I will say this, even though their offense doesn't blow you away, it's not over the top. When it comes to third down and 3, only one team in the NFL gets the first down more than Dallas. And you may think Dak is limited, but it's nice to know that offensive line, Zeke, Dak, and Amari, get first downs. That keeps other star quarterbacks like Carson Wentz off the field. That's why, by the way, they've had success against Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. They win the time of possession in those battles. Dallas at 5. Philadelphia at 4. Now, they're getting healthier. I always say my final 4 teams are the teams I think at any given time are the Super Bowl teams. I think Philadelphia is special. I think they've won with all sorts of secondary injuries. Deshaun Jackson, they didn't have a deep threat, went on the road in Green Bay and won. There's no getting around their issue. Their secondary right now is a mess. But I think a lot of that is just injuries. I don't think their secondary is going to be great at any point this year, but I think it'll be capable. Right now it is not. And I also think their pass rush, they don't have enough sacks for my taste right now, fewest sacks in the NFL. I don't think that's a long-term issue. I do think they create pressure on the quarterbacks. Ask Aaron Rodgers. Why don't I have my number 3 team right here? Oh, the New Orleans Saints. Well, here's what I'd say about the Saints. The only NFL team in the league that can go to a backup quarterback and win convincingly in Seattle and beat the Dallas Cowboys. That sums it up. That tells you have good line play. You have weapons offensively. Would Seattle win if Russell Wilson didn't play? Would the Cowboys win without Dak? Would New England win without Brady? It's not. The reason I've got them at 3 isn't because they beat Dallas. They're winning with a backup, and they're beating good teams. Dallas and Seattle. Seattle on the road with a backup. I think it tells you the depth on their line play. I think it tells you that, to me, they have the best. Marshawn Lattimore is the best pure corner in the game. Alvin Kamara is one of the top 3 backs. Michael Thomas may be the best possession receiver. And they have maybe the smartest coach along with Andy Reid offensively in the NFL. New England Patriots. I think their defense is ridiculous. They haven't allowed a passing touchdown this year. They're number 1 in 6 off defensive categories. Now, the reason I don't have them at number 1 is because I think right now they got a lot of wide receiver issues. I mean, Gronk retired. Chris Hogan left. The rookie, N'Keal Harry, is on IR. Edelman's bumped around a little bit. He's bruised. Josh Gordon's terrific, but I have questions. I mean, thank God for Philip Dorsett, who can play several different. He can go slot. He can go perimeter. I just don't think offensively they're dynamic enough right now to put it number 1. I think Kansas City is. Now, they have an issue, too. I don't love the back end of their defense. And unless they make a trade, I don't think they're going to have a great secondary this year. But they've scored 25-plus points in 25 straight games. Now, that you say to yourself when you watch college football, 25 points. The NFL average score is 23-20. So to go 25 points for a year and a half straight is remarkable. Remember, they play in Kansas City. They play in bad weather. They play in hail. November on, there's a lot of cold weather cities in the NFL that Kansas City plays in. And, 4-0, 3 straight seasons. Now, Andy Reid, it should be noted, is a very good September coach. Could we see them just a little trend down? I think it's possible. They're 1 or 2 injuries on defense away from real trouble. So I think when you look at the herd hierarchy, there are no teams without issues. Patriots receiving an offensive line, Kansas City secondary. But there you go, my herd hierarchy. I do not have Baltimore or Cleveland in it because, frankly, I don't think Baltimore's as bad as they looked, and I don't think Cleveland's as good as they looked. Sometimes teams play, and I just don't think it's a true indication of what we saw. I think Cleveland played with desperation. I think Baltimore came out really flat. I don't know what to make of Baltimore and Cleveland. I just don't know. I have to watch Cleveland go to San Francisco this week. Let me watch them. Can they put back-to-backs together like that? And let me watch Baltimore. I think they're going to rebound strongly against Pittsburgh. That's where we are. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.